denim culture at Denim and Jeans. So I think only fun topic we have on the panels for these 2 days. The rest of them are very intelligent topics, which some intelligent people do. But then here we are, some creative minds who want to do some decent work in just trying to understand and just discuss among ourselves and maybe take your inputs on understanding what identity denim as a fabric brings. Because that's the only fabric which can actually lead to a lot of rebellions. It can lead to a lot of identity speaking out without saying anything. It can show your personality in varied ways. It can be a sign of inclusivity. It can also be a leader in just stating out the unstated. That's what denim does. It has an extremely important part. And we have an amazing panel. All of them are stalwarts in whatever they have done, specifically in this segment. So, to keep it very simple, we are very open to have interjections from the audiences in between. If you're happy, we like to keep it very fluid. We like to keep it as communication wise as easy as possible for all of us. So while we start denim, we just start with one thought from each one of you on where do you see the meaning of denim? How has it evolved across generations and across global cultures? So one sort to just start the discussion. The evolution of denim across cultures. Yeah, please, Prachi.
So denim originally, as we all know, started as a workwear, not office wear, but workwear. Then it transitioned into utility. Then more of a fashion statement. And now where it's headed is, absolutely about identity, about, defining your own identity.
Yeah, truly said. I mean, what I believe is denim is an open canvas. It is out there for anybody to come in and paint it the way you want. I've never seen a fabric so versatile, and I don't think that there is any limitation to denim. Yeah.
In my mind, I think denim is comfort. Multiple fits, you can do exactly what you please. Like gone are the days when you would think that denim for women has to be something that's tight, for men has to be something that's rigid. Everyone's wearing everything, everyone is expressing themselves through denim, and I think that's what denim for me means, just comfort.
I think most of us here, we've all come into our first pair of jeans depending on who we followed as our idols or icons when we were younger. I think jeans has the blue jean is so iconic. It's possibly it's a statement of your of who you align with. So you roll it up and you're James Dean, and you wear a pair of flared bootcut jeans, and you're a hippie, and you can be who you want. I think it's really grown over the a little more than a century and a half that it's been around. Denims have gone from being workwear to rebel without a cause to rebel with a cause, and now with all the designer denims out there, I think, and then so much about heritage, legacy, and tradition have sort of come into the world of jeans, with the Japanese getting involved, the Scandinavians getting involved, and everybody is now part of this ride. I think it's great. I just think it's great.
So when you talk about evolution, Prachi, like to bring it back, we were discussing earlier also. This generation Z, according to me, the poorest of the generations, don't have the money right now, but they are the ones who are bloody driving everything possible. Every consumption, they don't let their parents buy anything without their consent. They tell people who design muftis, कि आपको fashion के बारे में क्या पता है, right? So that's what happens. So when this generation is there, and denim, as we talk about as a expression, an iconic piece of fabric which does social change, which brings inclusivity, how this Gen Z's view specifically on gender, sexuality, inclusivity is now impacting the current denim trends. What do you see from a brand perspective at Myntra as well?
So we'll kind of break it into two parts. That first of all, what is Gen Z's view on sexuality, right? So they see it as very fluid. Earlier, everything was defined into binary, right? Either for men or for women. Now it's really fluid. It's more about what I identify as, or with, or what suits my personality, or what I want to be looked at as. And from there, the trends evolve, not just in denim, but in anything that they do. It's the choice of clothing, denims, or even the lifestyle, or the kind of even buying choices that they make, or the lifestyle choices they make. It flows into everything. So it's more fluid, I would say.
And does this fluidity change the way denim trends get evolved for other
Yes,
generations?
absolutely. Because earlier everything, for example, in women's was say extra low rise, extra tight, skinny, even jeggings. Now it's all about fluid, more unisex, more I would say gender fluid fashion. A lot of brands are adapting it. Even the bigger brands are adapting it, and it's only going to get even more fluid from here.
Now, with fluidity, Raj, when you were introducing and you talking about the way you see denim, you were talking about an open canvas is the most, let's say, the creative fabric available. Now, does this evolution from a Gen Z or the way the subcultures are being emerging, do you think being an open canvas fabric, it gives you more ideas or more inspiration to create distinct trends compared to any other and bring it more towards mainstream? Denim gives you that option.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, see, if you start denim from where it started as a workwear, right from there, the evolution has been nothing less than a evolution of a civilization. The denim fabric remains the same, but it's transition into merging with different subcultures. Say, uh, when it comes to rock and roll, the skinny jeans came into the picture. Skinny jeans along with the leather jackets. Skinny jeans just came as a subculture, but then it went into the mainstream fashion. So now skinny jeans, we all know it has been the longest trending fit. Then if we talk about, say, hip hop culture, so then with the hip hop culture, if you see, I mean, if Diljit Dosanjh, if he performs somewhere wearing a baggy jeans and a oversized jacket, that will become a trend overnight, and people will want to have it. And when we talk about the Gen Z's contribution to this, I mean, absolutely no discount to them. They are probably the most aware generation. In our times, we were still not that aware when it comes to fashion. But today, because see, it is also about the evolution of social media. They are very well connected with all means of communication, I would say. Whether it is, say, metaverse or any other social media platforms, they follow Met Gala, what's happening there. And so that is one. And another part, like when we talk about the subculture, we talk about punk as a culture, subculture. So the black jeans with those metal studding, uh, distress, safety pins, embellishments, and then we see that those ripped denims are still there as a part of mainstream. So that is how it has evolved ever, and it will keep on evolving. It's a open thing, open canvas, as I said, and things are bound to happen. It will keep on happening.
So, does it lead to rebellion? And as a symbol
Oh, I
of
wish it
rebellion,
did. I wish it did. I don't think. I mean, see, today it's a little less about what one is standing for, and it feels like it's a little more about what they don't stand for. I think fluidity, gender fluidity, all of these things. When you talk to these kids, they operate very differently. Like I have a 15-year-old at home, and she's very comfortable buying from menswear brands, and it's not so vocally in support of something. It's very easy. They're not obsessing over this, and I think that's very nice. Uh, that's changed a lot. I mean, I think when I grew up in the 80s, pair of jeans in India was difficult to come by. You had to have a relative in Dubai or in the US and come back with a pair of Levi's for you. And then you had to play your own little John Wayne or James Dean or whoever in whatever movie you've seen, in what little opportunity you had. I don't think people are doing it with, it's not so thought through. It's not so deliberate. There's just so much more ease around it. And we might be past the time where uh, we will have a cultural influence on denim in the way that Japan adopted jeans, post World War, and they were able to integrate their own culture of indigo and this new jeans that they saw and baseball coming in from the American soldiers. I don't think we're going to do that. We're probably just going to slide into this with a certain amount of ease. I think we're in an era where all consumption needs to be viewed with a certain sense of responsibility, and I think being a little over 10% of the world's population, if we were to do that and lead that, uh, I think we would have probably done something for denim culture far more important and impactful than a look. That's
Nishi, when he says we're still not there compared to what we've seen elsewhere, do you think specific to your kind of work, you're bringing in a lot of add-ons to denim through your embellishments, to the kind of customization you can bring in? Do you think these key details, and if you can elaborate a few details, which will help this lot where we're saying denim stands for a certain culture, express these young consumers, express themselves via these denim details? Do you think that's happening where you see in line of work as well?
Actually, absolutely. We do see that. And I'll tell you how. See, gone is the time when you want to scream a brand name. I think Gen Z is not interested in that. They are definitely buying only from certain brands, but that brand has to stand for something. It has to mean something. So what we end up seeing is like a lot of brands will now, try to think of, oh, we need to have slogans on our merchandise. Like we need to probably have like an embroidery badge that says something just as simple as peace or a smiley face on a pair of denims, right? So it's more about expressing your thoughts and your values on your garment. So I think earlier maybe you'd want to say, oh, you are wearing a particular brand. Yes, you still want to wear those brands, but the brand has to make sure that the branding is subtle and their message is clearer, what they stand for or what their ethos is. So I think that is one thing that we see a lot of. Also, minimalism is in now. So subtle key like branding details, for example, like or maybe DTM trim. So everything is subtle. Nothing is loud anymore. Your what they feel is loud, but nothing in terms of branding will ever scream at you. So first we used to say, we heard this quiet luxury a lot. It's not quiet luxury. It's quiet everything now when it comes to branding. It just has to be speaking through the messages that the brand wants to portray. Also, customization and personalization is in. So you have to have that as part of your brand. Even if you're making the same pair of jeans for obviously in hundreds and thousands and millions of pieces, you need to have something that you're offering each market that you're selling in, something that makes the garment feel like it's their own. And that generally happens as, like say something as simple as a heat sticker. So when you buy jerseys, for example, like football jerseys, you can just heat press your name on the jersey. It's a very simple thing that you can do, but it just makes that product feel like your own. Similarly, even in denim, you see that you can just heat press, like say a letter or a thought process or something like that on a pocket. So a lot of brands are doing that, and that is important. The product has to feel like it's yours.
So when we talk about products, I'll just deviate from the culture point of view. Prachi, now denim, while we're talking about it can help you express yourself, will be a young person's driven trend, etc. From a business and an e-com point of view, how do you see it reflecting in terms of way people are buying, specifically from your platform elsewhere? Where do you see things are moving? You would have seen offshoots from certain brands, certain styles doing well. So does this align with the way it's happening on social media?
So yes, there is a lot of shift in maybe from, as we spoke, from skinny to more I would say wide leg, and more oversized, and also something which is more unisex, gender neutral. There is of course a shift everywhere that we are seeing, and also everything is coexisting. I feel it's nothing like skinny is completely out of the game. There is a market for everybody, and now there is so much available to everyone. They can just identify what works for them and just buy that. So nothing is defined that only wide leg will sell now, or only skinny will sell, or only boyfriend fit will sell. everything is coexisting very beautifully, and people have a lot of option to just buy what suits their personality and their identity.
Now, from an India point of view, when you talk about denim and we're discussing the culture, from an India point of view, while we are seeing offshoots, we're not seeing too much happening in terms of culture, but we are seeing denim as maybe an evolutionary globally. How is it relevant in India? Because we are the youngest population in the world. We have the highest number of the so-called Gen Zs in the world. I love Gen Zs, by the way. But yeah, the so-called Gen Zs of the world, we're the highest population of those. And everywhere we are still talking about the young consumer, young consumer. You're just hardly a year older to me, but still, it's fine. But from an India point of view, do you see in the next few years this cohort identifying themselves, whether it's slogans on denims, whether it's certain embellishments on denims, whether these are fits of denims, or these are the kind of fabrics you're using and the way people are buying? Do you think Indian consumers, the Indian young consumers can drive the change? Anyone, open for anyone to answer this.
Why not? Because in India, if you see, it's a huge population, and out of that, the data says some 27% is Gen Z population, right?
Yeah.
So it's huge. And the next generation is already ready to come into the game, Gen Alpha. So they are even one step ahead. So whatever we are talking about Gen Z's habits and their being woke and being asking for more personalized things, Gen Alpha will be even one step ahead. So this is not going anywhere. They will ask for things, and brands will have to provide that.
And how much does denim has a role to play in this? Just making it more culturally driven as a product. Do you think denim and India can go ahead like what we saw when you spoke about rock and rolls and the punks and all you spoke about? Those are themes were driven by the West. We got inspired. Do you think Indian consumers, 65% of Gen Zs across the world are in India? That's a huge population. So do you think we can drive this?
So I'm a hopeless romantic, so I'm just going to go for this. The thing that I see is, when you look at when we look at the history of denim culture, all of this had the luxury of happening in an isolated world. We were distanced by the lack of aeroplanes. Then aeroplanes happened. Today we are, I think we're a very small world, and I think we'll have to accept that this is going to be, the Indian is going to be part of the global culture. It's going to be global. We are not importing, we're not exporting. We're just part of it. I think this entire, we're called human beings, not human doings. But this state of being, this state of oneness that we seem to be progressing towards, even with whatever else is happening in the background right now across the world, it doesn't matter. I think this generation will possibly bind things more, and they will deliver a global language. There used to be a time when you watched a movie 4 months after it released in the West, and today these kids know whatever words are coming up, I don't know, skibidi or whatever it is, and they're all saying it on the same day. So it's that, we've got to think about that, and we've got to think about how it's not local anymore. It is global, and there is no end to this. And we will contribute. We will also consume, and we will do both simultaneously. I don't think it's going to happen in isolation in that sense anymore.
See, still about 5 years back, nobody would have thought that other than West, anybody else would inspire the fashion, right? Only West was the only influence. Then suddenly came the K-dramas and the Japanese-inspired fits and all of that. So if that part of the world can become a trend, 100%, I'm very sure the kind of content India is giving out and the kind of brands that are coming out of India, I'm very sure that by next decade, there will be Indian fashion inspired.
I think I'll add to it.
Yeah, please.
So it's not the same fact anymore that all the innovations and everything is happening only towards the western side of the world. India is catching up, and catching up like how? If we see the innovation of say khadi denim. Yeah, khadi denim was innovated in India, one of the most comfortable and finest piece of clothing. Then there is another innovation which we did.
Yeah.
So we, introduced, innovated something. See, we have always been talking about the biggest waste, which is plastic, all the time. Plastic is big. Plastic is big. It's the most hazardous waste. But the real data is plastic comes second, and everybody in the world has taken care of plastics. The first are the cigarette butts waste, which has been littered around everywhere, and nobody was taking care of it actually. So we took that up as an initiative. We tied up with an NGO where we made them collect all the cigarette butts littering around, eventually landing up in the oceans or the landfills. And it was a very, very hazardous litter, very hazardous, more hazardous than a plastic is. So yeah, we did tied up with the NGO. They collected all the cigarette butts. We tied up with the mills, and then we innovated this beautiful denim fabric out of it, which is not just waste anymore. It's the most beautiful piece of fashion. And I'm very, very sure, just like today everybody is talking about recycled cotton, recycled polyester, which is become the mainstream fashion today. Even this will eventually get into the mainstream fashion. And we should be extremely proud about the fact that it is made in India.
Yeah. Everybody's smoking there. Raj keeps on going. He was going for smoke. He said, "I'll go." I said, "You don't smoke." No, I'll still go and see where he's doing it. No, that's an excellent innovation, and congratulations for the awards you've won.
I was being followed for that.
So the many more, if you see Raj around. But I think you guys have launched soon. We've launched.
Yeah, we have
fabric.
launched.
Yes.
Yeah, it has already hit the stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, this is fine. You're linking sustainability to denim, what you did.
Yeah.
Now, what about social movements? We have so many. India has seen in the last 5 years, right from political to just mainstream, let's say rebellion of a smaller kind on social media. We have the highest population of Gen Zs. We also have the highest population of trolls globally. You can be trolled for anything you do. So what I see them is an reflection to whom we are selling to. Those trolls are not bots. They're actual people who are expressing themselves online. So we equate them as a part or a certain towards a certain subculture which is forming where you don't like what's happening and you're very vocal about it. Aggressively does not matter. You're being vocal about it. And we as brands will have to sell to that kind of community as well. So these are all social movements which are happening, and India is one of the biggest internet savvy population in the world. We are the fastest growing population in the world. There's so much things happening in India where all these social movements align. And I want to bring it to denim. Do you think denim has the power to empower these social movements or make them a little bit more structured? Will it have the power what it had in the West in the next few years also to make a change? It's the social change we're talking about.
See, in small ways, I think I see some of it cropping up. Maybe right now, not essentially in denim per se, right? But there have been a lot of these thrifting communities, a lot of all of these cultures which were never there. So I even saw some denim thrifting group. Then there are these kind of new tribes, sub tribes, or micro tribes coming up who are, maybe vintage denim enthusiasts or something like that. So I'm sure it'll only develop for sure. I think denim is a huge, I would say, contributor to the fashion, right? And people are more, I would say, there are cult followers of a particular kind of denim fashion rather than any other category. So these groups are definitely going to come in the next few years.
Nishi, do you get demands from brands globally whom you supply to?
Yeah.
Certain embellishments, trims, details from you, which you feel are related to a certain social cause and they just want to encash on it? Do you get specific requirements or selections you see when you present them your products?
So I won't say that we see specific trim requests for, say, like a social movement, but see, overall, always, if there is a social change or if there is something that is happening in the country, it is going to showcase in the clothes that you wear. So, for example, I'm saying when Levi's did their collection where they had Hindi on their back patches, it sends a message, right? You are a country that is being recognized in the world. So it's something very small. It's something we may have missed if their marketing language was not around it. But these are small things that A, puts the country on the map, B, talks about how tradition is important, talks about how heritage is becoming important for India. So I think these are the small changes that you see. I wouldn't say that, okay, we definitely have. So if times are, say, a little muted, or, if the economy is not doing well, you will see that in the color palette. For example, you're not going to have very bright colors. You're going to have something that's a bit more muted. Or if you see that, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they don't want to, they are very clear that they want to align with specific brands and specific languages only that the brand speaks about. So you will see where marketing language on the trims or embellishments is changing a little bit, how they word certain things. So you can't say anything and everything. Earlier, a back patch for any brand or a hang tag for any brand would have things that were randomly written. Today, each and every sentence is well thought out. If you are putting a claim out there, you have to be able to back the claim. So I think we're becoming more responsible as manufacturers, more responsible as brands, and trying to ensure that, what we show is what we have. Like, there is 100% transparency around the product. May I add? See, some social changes which have come through are, of course, inclusivity and diversity, right? So more color palettes. If it's a nude, there are nudes to suit everybody, right?
Yeah.
In denim, particularly, more sizes that cover all kinds of fits and body shapes. That is something which has come. Now, of course, also something which brands have tried to encash in the name of a social movement has been the Pride collections.
Yeah.
Right? But some brands have wisely taken cues from here, and instead of just making some random collections once a year or once a season, they have now incorporated it in their mainstream collections, which is the right thing to do, because this is what this generation also wants.
And in addition to that, off lately, what I have observed on some Instagram pictures, these changes. So they would use DIY kind of a thing, customization kind of a thing, doing hand painting and all on their own bought garments, and express themselves through various things. I mean, like if you talk about any movement or something, so they are very, very aware. They're actually very aware. They do feel the importance of the mental health. I've seen a lot of emojis based out of mental health, and they do the painting of small symbols, mental health symbols, and so they do it through hand painting. They would do it through some other. So like customization is available today in most of the bigger cities. Customization is available, so they do take it, and they would just write very small thing like reuse, repair, resist. So these smaller things, these are nothing less than a movement. They are just trying to communicate their expressions.
So I'm going to go back to something that Nishi said, sort of build on that. The thing about culture is that you don't build it; it happens. And it's in hindsight we look back and over a decade and say this is now part of our culture. We obviously live in a world of instant gratification. You post something, you do something, you post it, you want to like immediately, you want recognition immediately. I think so. One of the things that we take very seriously at Mufti is how we build little things into our design language, and we're not necessarily always talking about it on a daily basis. What we are looking to build is that over the course of 6, 7, 8, 10 years, we have an archive of such actions. And it's that archive of actions that will then define our culture. And I think when we're looking for culture, I think we have to look at impact. And impact is something that's going to be created slowly through consistent action. And we have to be prepared to invest time in that thought, in that, and it's just got to be done, and you've got to course correct. You've got to find new ways to express yourself. You've got to be relevant when things change, but not forget your language. You've got to stay there, and you've just got to keep building on it. I think that's sort of important when it comes to culture. It's a hindsight thing.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
See, I think today also brands, like he said, that it's over a period of time. So your language has to remain absolutely the same. You can't think that today you will say that, oh, something like pride matters or we are inclusive. And then maybe later when things are going anti-inclusivity, suddenly say, oh, you know what, we only stand for binary genders. For example, there is people, so like the trolls, for example, they are seeing everything that you have posted in real time. They go back years, generations also sometimes, to check what is happening. So I think brands have to be very careful that what they think remains the same over a period of time. It can't change.
Thank you for saying that, because I was about to counter on what you were talking about, and very similar lines. I have a special mic, guys. So on similar lines, that while we're talking about culture, we have now, we call it, we have India and we have Bharat. So there is a merging of culture happening, and there is not a thin, it's a line which is widening, getting thicker day by day, and sometimes get thinner. And when you talk about culture, languages, so many things which happen every second day, every 6 months, or let's say if we talk about the fashion sense, every season will have a different movement which is happening. And how through a denim as a fabric can be flexible. Do you think it's flexible enough to navigate without changing what the brand ethos is, what they stand for since beginning? So some of the legacy brands have been built on a certain thought process, and they have not deviated. New brands, there is a rise of new brands who are playing a price war. They are looking at consumers, they're trying to bring everything to them. None of them, as per my understanding, has built that culture within them. They're just selling because they can pick up trends and they can sell to this consumer market. But do you think denim will withstand this change? Will it be able to evolve itself? Or because of Indianization, we'll have some newer fabrics? Even if we all are denim people talking about denim, do you think denim does have, because it's not an Indian fabric traditionally or culturally? It is not. So that's the last question to everyone. Do you think denim has the power to be part of this cultural change in India, or there will be some other fabrics which will come in place which are more Indianized in nature? Because denim essentially is not. Please.
I say this in hope. Indigo, India, and Indigo is what gave Mahatma Gandhi his idea to the hook for the Quit India movement after going to Champaran. I think our relationship with Indigo is old. It has been treacherous at times. But we can look at recrafting that story. We can be about responsibility. We can stand for, instead of heritage or legacy or words that people now own by virtue of having been there doing that for so many years. I think India has a strong chance at being responsible towards denim. And I don't think denim is going away. It's just not. It may become lighter as we get hotter, but it's sticking around. So yeah, we could do this. I think it's here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, see, if you initially see denim, it was always known to be very tough, masculine kind of a fabric, whether in the space of workwear or cowboy and all. Denim definitely has withstood various, evolution, various cultures over a period of time. I mean, from a very tough fabric to a very fluid one with a blend of, say, lyocell, modal, and all those fabrics. So denim has been able to blend itself in whichever occasion it was needed to be in. Denim has always sailed through.
There'll be innovations, there'll be new things coming up. I mean, nobody had thought 2 decades back that there'll be lyocell denim and stencil denim, right? So everything will keep evolving. It will keep evolving, but it will not go anywhere. And in terms of staying true to the value that the brand stands, also if you keep pivoting, if the brands keep pivoting, it will not work. But if they stay true to their value and then innovate, I think there's a long way to go. So I stand by everything they are saying. So I basically have no points left because they've already said everything. But I came across an advertisement by some brand, I can't remember the name, that had a cord set. Okay, and it looked like denim. So the ad said, "Looks like denim, feels like a dream." Okay, and see, even there was denim. So denim is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. Even when you're not wearing denim, you want to seem like you're wearing denim. So it's definitely not going anywhere.
So I think we all agree it's the evolution should be there.
Yeah. The eyes have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there is a lot of tech infusion which is happening in the denim space. I mean, there are so many smart textiles. You talk about the Cool Max, where it helps you keep yourself cooler during the summer and cold. I mean, yeah, warmer during the winters. So that kind of fabrics and some RFID blocking fabrics and so on and so forth. So there are tech infusion which is also happening, which definitely will keep denim relevant.
So I think denim will stay relevant. Will be
100%.
part of this culture movement as we speak, and India will, being optimistic, India will help it reach newer and higher grounds, right? We have time for a few questions. We do. Comments, questions. If you don't like us, you can tell us it didn't work well, please.
Hi, I'm Saurav. Thank you for an amazing session. As Nishi mentioned, that trims play an important part. So in this world of fast fashion and personalization, customization, how do we keep the trims sustainable? So how do we make sure that we make it more sustainable?
So I'll answer this a bit differently. So earlier we only did, so as a company, we only do custom trims. However, what we've realized is because of fast fashion, sometimes you don't have time to produce. You have to reduce your lead times, right? So everyone now is okay with using a little bit. I won't say the entire collection can be based on this, but a little bit of trims that are ready to use that you can just pick up and put on a garment and sell the garment. So I think every company has to think of that. Just because it's generic or it's not, say, branded with a particular brand, the trim cannot look mediocre. It still has to be the stunner on the product. Because with fast fashion, what also happens is that fabrics are becoming cheaper, lead times are becoming shorter. Sometimes you will see that just like a plain white t-shirt has like this massive heat transfer where you spend no money on the t-shirt, but the heat transfer, just by virtue of say 5, 10, 15 rupees, that product looks amazing. So I think that's what's important. Coming to the sustainability bit, obviously, if you are kind of going down the route where you're not branding things, you are kind of, your material is made in larger bulks, even though you may be selling smaller quantities. So you are saving on, say, a lot of electricity over there. A lot of raw finishes, a lot of chemical-free items are also becoming popular, and it's a lot of work. Believe me, like I think trim companies also have to put in a lot of work because sometimes the fabrics are sustainable, but you can't sell a sustainable denim without having a sustainable button and a back patch. So yeah.
I'll add to that. So, as you know, we have innovated that cigarette butt waist denim. Okay, so that's a part of sustainability. Okay, now when we talk about that garment, we have taken care of each and every aspect of the garment to be sustainable. Whether it is all the metal trims that we have used, those buttons, trims, everything, the metal trims that we have used, it is actually taken from Nishi's company. See, I'm promoting you. Yeah.
Very well done.
I mean, this is strategically placed. Yeah. You asked the right question.
Right question.
Placed by you? No?
Yeah. So those are chemical-free coating. Then the threads that we have used are all biodegradable and again made out of recycled polyester. The back patch that we have used is not leather, not PU. It is made out of wooden cork material. And you should see that garment. It has actually hit the stores. You should see that garment. And even the washing. How can I forget washing? all the washing that has been done on it, it is done through the most sustainable way, where zero water wastage has been taken care of. I mean, uh, whatever water is being used in making of those, sorry,
It's recycled.
yeah, it's retreated. Yeah, so it's a sustainable denim in its purest form, I would say.
Thank you so much. That answers my question.
Any more?
My question is for Prachi. So you talked about cultures of vintage denim or thrifting denim, and as a recycler myself, we also come across a lot of boutique brands that are indulging into repurposing denim into accessories or jeans again. Do you see mainstream marketplaces indulging into that culture?
Very honestly, not at the moment, but the shift has started, right? There are some smaller D2C brands who have started doing that. H&M started that drive. I don't know how it's going. At least at the look of it, it looks like it's going, but God knows where those garments are going. But there are some folks who are truly doing it, but it'll still take about a decade to evolve fully, I feel.
I think right now we are all just trying to meet the goals.
Yeah,
Everybody is
absolutely.
just trying to meet the goals.
My
but
2040 target, so
Yeah.
like that.
So those goals are very far fetched right now. So you won't see anything happening right now. But the only good thing is people are creating sustainable, being sustainable, and they're trying to talk about it. Earlier it was just a goal. Right now there is a story behind being sustainable because the consumer is intelligent. That's the reason you can sell a garment. It would be little higher price compared to rest of the collection, but there will be a certain audience who will take it. But maybe in a decade, as you said, there will be a lot more people.
Slowly
who
that
can adapt it.
ecosystem is evolving, right? So it'll get there.
And once economies come in, then it will become as normal as just buying anything from a store. It will happen.
What they say is the next generation, when they grow, Gen Alpha, this will be a norm,
Yeah.
It'll not be that, oh, I'm sustainable. It'll just, everything will have to be.
So just stay for another decade.
I'll try and wait.
You're going to be a bigger one.
So, and if you talk about sustainability, I would request not just to talk about sustainability if you don't believe in it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the garment would be expensive. The cost of making that garment is actually a lot, right? But what we have done is, because we want to promote it, we want to make it available to the world to see it, and then believe in it, and then invest into it. So today, what we have done is we have taken that margin hit and made it very, very affordable. So that is the step that we have taken. We have taken that intake margin hit, so that it is very, very affordable to the common people.
No, absolutely, and that's how it is. Sustainability right now should not be looked as a cost; it's an investment. If you're not up for it, I can vouch for a fact: the brands who will think of it as a cost in the post a decade, they will no longer be relevant as brands. There will be different streams of brands who will just take over the market, and you, even if you're a legacy brand, will not be able to sustain if you don't take it as an investment. And rightly, you've done it as an investment rather than a cost. Thank you.
Hi.
Oh, yeah.
In the past 3, 4 years, 5 years, we have seen something called fast fashion coming into the whole Indian scenario, right? And as Puneet mentioned, that how brands can pick up trend and sell them because they can, right? So how do you think denim is going to withstand those fabrics, because they are way much cheaper than denim, because they are 100% polyester fabric and not following the sustainability clauses of 2040 that we are trying to achieve?
I think I'll answer your question visually. How many of you guys are wearing denim? Just raise your hands. It's everybody, right? In general, also. See, what you're saying, it's right, but it's partially wrong. It's incorrect because the fact is, as Prachi mentioned in one of her answers, that there is a market for all. What you're saying, both of them will coexist. We have a huge population, but what we also have is a population willing to spend. There is a certain proportion of population which will go and invest in something which is sustainable, even if it's price high. There will be a population which will be frugal. They'll go and they'll buy from. I've read Mohan Singh Palace here somewhere written. Yeah. They'll still go there. They still exist, and they're still doing amazing business. They become mainstreamers themselves. So there's a market, and there is. See, it depends on the kind of money people have. We are a economy which, forget trends. from a financially, people's spending power is increasing. The incomes are not increasing at a rate, but they're still increasing. We might complain that there is more inflation, we are not earning less. It will always happen, it's not going to change. But still, the value will increase. What I got as my starting package versus what we give to our team members is a stark difference. So things have changed and people's spending power is a lot more. I was taught to save more, spend less. The newer generations, they save less, they spend more because they believe in investing in themselves. That's how they want to define it. So there's a market for all. So all of them will stay for sure.
I have one point to add to this. As it gets hotter and hotter because of global warming, I think slowly you're going to see at least things like denim, right? You need something that breathes because you're going to be wearing the same pair day in and day out. So 100% polyester for something like this I obviously there will be an audience, like you said, there
Yeah.
will be an audience who buys it, but I think it will stay true to form, where there is cotton, where there is your basic fabrics in it.
Denim को धोना भी कम पड़ता है. Saving water. Yeah, sustainable. And it's a genuine thing. It's not a joke. It's actually a fact.
Freeze your jeans.
Yeah. You can. Any more comments? Yeah, ma'am has it.
Hi, thank you for having a very insightful discussion with us. So I want to understand, where do you see India as a trend driver? We are talking about, India being one of the biggest population, being one of the biggest with the Gen Zs, because they have the buying, not the power, not the money, I would say, but they do spend a lot on themselves. They like to invest in themselves. That's what we all have been talking about. But where do you see India as a driver of trend? Because all these trend platforms that we see, name it, WGSN, Stylumia, nobody talks about Indian trends. Nobody has a separate section for trends being covered in India, and that is something that we've been talking about with every trend platform that we use. So where do we see India? Because we are missing out on so much. We have so many trends. We have so many, homegrown brands which are bringing in so much of goodness in terms of trends and product and everything. But why don't we cover that? It's not just related to denim. It's, I think, overall trend that we're talking about. So where is India on that international platform in terms of trends?
Thank you. I'll just pitch my product now. I'll just
I
plant
would
it.
love you to pitch your product because we do use WGSN, but
So we have
feel
India
that
content now. We have the
Okay.
highest number of India reports now on the platform. We have a full-fledged India team which is doing only India-led research. So if you have WGSN, I don't know which organization, but if you have WGSN, the tab on Insight has only India content. Almost 7 to 8 reports which we are publishing on that are only India-led research. We're covering Indian brands. We're talking about Indian innovations. The only thing which we are now getting up towards is just coming with India trends. We will talk about certain colors which are relevant more for India and not for the Western world, how to get rise. But work is there. We've already identified it. We have a very strong India content team now, which is based out of our offices. And what we've done it, the reason we've done it, from it makes sense for us from both the business point of view. We have so many domestic brands. You are catering to a domestic population, which is very, very different from what the West has to offer,
rest of the world.
right? So we very, very different. We don't adhere to anyone. We are right now not followers. We were followers of the West. We're somehow becoming equal in the way we look at trends. So we've understood that. So we already have it. So WSN platform already has it. And if you talk about scraping platforms who give you analytical trends, they were any which ways picking up trends because that's the only way they can track data. So, like for example, Myntra would have its own tools to track what's selling with them, and for them that becomes like a predictive analytics that this is what trends. So that's an Indian trend technically. So all of these brands are doing it. But yes, you are absolutely right. We've already started focusing on that. We do have content. Please go and check it out. So that's already taken care of, and it will become a lot better.
And the other part of the question, where do you see India as a trend driver on the international platform?
I think we are. Somebody spoke about Diljit. Look at the global influence India has. The Met Gala, irrespective you like it or not, the just read yesterday the media valuation. Shah Rukh Khan is more than double than the next best, Lewis Hamilton. Irrespective you like it or not, he gave Met Gala. So now Met Gala is known to so many more people than it used to be earlier. So India as a driver is there. Right now, India is just being seen as an economy where people can spend money. And that's the reason brands are there. Now we don't see trends permitting. I don't know. You guys can disagree, but trends from West don't take a year to come to India now. It's all there. It's
They're
everything.
still slow, I feel. They're still slow. to
Indian
reach
brands are
India.
doing a lot faster now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their private labels are doing these trends a lot faster and quicker. Rajiv wanted to say something to this.
Yeah, I mean, see, Diljit wearing a baggy jeans
Yeah, you
in a
brought that.
concert,
Yeah.
and Diljit wearing a royal attire in Met Gala. So this is how he's representing his culture outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's wearing whatever he wants to in a concert in India, but when he's going abroad, that's he's depicting what the values that he wants to for the world to see. So
I think it's trends. Typically, we are everywhere. Indians are everywhere. So we will anyways be carrying our culture everywhere. We'll be driving trends. It's not going to change. I think we'll ourselves realize that organically we have moved towards being the trend leaders. Now, whether we pick the trends from the West, we pick it from Europe, we pick it from Middle East, we pick it from back home or villages in India, we will be taking those out for sure.
You also see like designers like Gaurav Gupta and stuff designing for international stars now, right? So they have people like at Cannes, at not the Met Gala, but so many other events where they are dressing stars up and international stars, not Indian stars. So I think you can already see that there is a change that's happening.
Thank you.